Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome to Let me start over. Welcome to Coffee is for Closers, episode number 2. Woo! And we have a really special guest today, Emily, who has been a great friend of mine. She is stellar at sales. I put her bio in the notes below, so check it out. She does a lot of really good, well actually, you know what? Why don't you explain what you do?
All right. So I'm Emily Page, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pearl Resourcing, and we are a product development and packaging company. So that means anything that you see on the shelf in grocery, we work with companies that create products to develop their packaging so they sell better, so they show up in retail, or if it's an e-commerce company, when the product arrives in the box, it's going to look amazing and create a great customer experience so that you continue to sell more and create brand loyalty, all that stuff. So we do that to companies all over the United States. You've probably never heard of us because we work with brands that are on the shelf and we help them to sell.
Perfect. Well, welcome to the show. You guys, I'm super excited to have her here because, as you know, our topic for this month is building relationships and building rapport, and why is it so important? So I am going to attempt to share my screen so you can kind of see some of the slides for today, and then I'll go back to us because we are way better looking than the slides, right? And we're way more entertaining. And I want to check in to make sure you have your tea, coffee. Emily's got hers. So also, if you're brand new, if you type in show in the notes today, I think we've got our bot operating properly. Thank goodness, because Amy's here and she's figured it all out from scratch. I don't even know what I'd do without Amy, but Amy's mom, if you're watching, she's awesome. So shout out to Amy and her super cool mom, who I haven't really met yet, but doing the back end of this stuff is extremely complicated, let me tell you. And, I see all the thumbs up. Okay, so that's my other ask. If you like what we talk about, if you could share it with all your friends, that would be great. And hopefully for all my friends on my homepage, you see it on my personal Facebook page too, because we forgot to do that last time. Okay, now I'm going to go to the slides, and I'm going to attempt to show my screen. So let me go to the slides. I am here. And again, feel free to give us love, hearts, thumbs up, shares. We love it all. But today we're talking about relationships and the importance of building relationships. Okay, it's working. So I guess we can go to presenter mode. Uh-oh, we might actually do this. Perfect. But now we can't see ourselves. Anyway, you are watching Coffee is for Closers. I like to say it's like your virtual coffee shop. You can bring water, you can bring tea, you can bring beer, you can bring a margarita, you can bring smoothies, you can bring shakes, whatever. Come join us every Monday. It's 30 minutes, maybe 45 if I'm talking a lot. But it's really to help you close more deals, get over objections, help more people, because a lot of us have really great products and services, but we're sometimes scared to talk about it. So we want to get over that being scared of talking about it part, because otherwise, I like to say, you're doing your clients a disservice. So, who's your cup of joe, right? Coffee term. Amy and I came up with those. Well, actually, she did most of them, but I thought it was pretty cute. So, if we're talking about building relationships and building rapport, and you want to meet people, or you're going to meet someone really important and you don't even know what to say to them when you meet with them. And then, you have to think about how are you able to serve them and help them in return, because otherwise it's like, why would that person want to meet with you if it's all about you? So I thought today we could ask Emily, our guest, all these questions, and then maybe next week I'll share my stories with you. So what is your cup of joe? When you want to meet someone, let's say there's like this really ideal client that you want to meet, and you're like, gosh, I don't even know what I'm going to say to them. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's like? What do you do? How do you build that relationship? How do you build that rapport with the person? We talked last week about what relationships were and what rapport was, but like maybe something that you've done that's worked out really well that all of you guys can experience.
Yeah, so why don't I share a little bit about how I even began doing Pearl Resourcing.
Perfect.
When I first decided I wanted to start my own business, I met a gentleman who was selling his company, and I had no experience in packaging as a salesperson or as a product development person. I had bought packaging in the past. And so I asked him if I could borrow all of his samples and go to a local trade show. I put down some of the money from my savings, and I went to this trade show and pretended that I owned this company. I thought, if I can actually make this work, then I'm going to buy it from him. But if I can't sell anything at this trade show, then this isn't a good deal. So I went and put out boxes, and I stood there, and I was dripping sweat. I was so nervous because I thought someone's going to find out I'm a fake. They're going to come up and ask a question that I don't know the answer to. And as people started coming up, I was strategically positioned right in front of check-in. People started coming over and grabbing boxes and asking me questions like, oh, is this corrugate? You know, what kind of flute is this? I didn't know the answers to these questions, and so I totally had to fake it. You know, I would say something like, yes, it's corrugate, but tell me about your product. So I did a bait and switch where you get excited and passionate and agree with whatever it is that they just asked and got them talking about their own products. And then I would write down when they were gone, okay, find out what type of corrugate that is. And I was just super passionate. I didn't let my nervousness get in the way. And more than anything, I led with enthusiasm for their product.
So that's important. So if you saw on the slide, I don't have the slides up anymore, but basically it's what's in it to help them, right? So what was in it to help them is talking about their business. And when you're building that relationship and rapport, talking about their business is extremely important. It's got to be all about them. It has nothing to do with what you're selling to them, right?
That is so true. That is so true. And I think a lot of other packaging companies, what I found, they focus on selling you a box because the sales rep gets paid a commission if you buy their packaging. But the reason why the customer buys is not to give you a commission as a salesperson. They do it so they can sell more product. So the reason why I think I was able to very quickly gain ground and capture market share when other packaging companies were in the business so much longer is because I stopped. In every conversation I thought, how can I help you sell more? And so that is any pitch I've ever done. I would bring boxes and packaging of different samples, and I would take their product and put it inside of that box and start saying, wow, wouldn't this look amazing on the shelves of Trader Joe's? Whoa, can you imagine this in a catalog of Williams-Sonoma? When I started casting vision for their product selling more, that's when I started getting orders. And that's the way that I continue to differentiate myself as a salesperson.
That's awesome. So you're at this trade show, and you've got all these people asking you questions that you can't answer and you don't know. How did you build rapport with the person? How did you build that relationship with the person? So for all of you entrepreneurs watching, you can probably use a lot of this if you go to live events, if you're going to trade shows and meeting people and talking to people, probably even if you're on the phone. So if you're doing mostly phone calls and you're a virtual person, then I'm sure all of this will be very helpful.
So I develop rapport the same way that Michelle does. Michelle is so good at it. Asking questions, always thinking about the other person and trying to understand them and what motivates them, what makes them passionate, making that person feel that you care about them. And I don't believe that you can fake that.
No,
I think you have to be sincere.
You can't fake that. You can't fake that part till you make it. That's not going to work. Now, descriptions on your products and things that you can get back to somebody on in an email to clarify, now that you can, because again, it's all about them, so you can spin it. But rapport, you can't fake that till you make it.
You can't fake that. You have to sincerely care about that person. So the external dialogue is asking them questions about, hey, when is your next sales meeting happening? When do you need to have a presentation so that you're in front of Costco? Hey, how did sales go this year? Where is your next target customer this coming year? Where do you need to grow? Asking them the questions that they need to have for their own sales success is how I've personally been able to gain a lot of traction with their hydrating.
Someone says water for me. I'm like, that's not lame. I got a whole half gallon. But keep going.
And I think that same internal dialogue needs to be happening at all times. I'm always asking myself, how can I help add value? What does this person need right now for their company to grow?
Oh, that's a good one. What do they need? So building relationship and rapport, finding out what that person needs, that's key. Keep going.
And so I think the way that you connect to people is by driving with questions, external questions, asking them about what they need next in their life, and internal questions. What is it that this person could subconsciously be thinking about? If I walk into a sales situation and I'm thinking, when are you next buying packaging? That's not their personal outcome.
Nope.
That's my personal outcome. Their personal outcome is when is the next sales opportunity for their product.
Right.
And so if I can think 2 steps ahead, ask them about that, I've already gotten them moving from the present into the future and thinking about when they would need me next.
Okay, that's a really good one. When will the person, if it's not now, some of you might be selling, products that have a really long sales process, that I call it, and finding out when they will really need your services is great, because if it's 8 months from now, you can build that relationship even deeper for the next 8 months, and then when they need you, they're not going to say no, right?
That's so true. Michelle and I have talked a lot of different times about our retail experience, because both of us have sold to really large major retail chains. And you think, oh my gosh, this person is going to buy my product right now. You know what? Costco, Trader Joe's, any major retail chain.
It's like a year-long process.
Right, which means they place the order about a year in advance or 6 months in advance. But you have to be thinking about a year and a half forward, especially figuring out co-packers and the manufacturing QA process. So that can affect everything. You have a 2-year cycle where you're brainstorming, and then you actually meet your customer, and then they think about you for a year and a half.
Yeah, and then maybe they need you. Okay, so let's say your product doesn't go on shelves for a year and a half. What do you do to keep that relationship building for that year and a half? What are the top 5 things that you do?
The top 5 things that I do are, I think, the same things that Michelle does.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear Emily's version. 5 things, so write these down. Or maybe Amy will actually type them in the notes. She's on it.
All right, so one of the main things that I do is I keep a list of people who I need to stay in front of, and I prioritize them by the 80-20 rule. So if this customer is a lead into a huge order, then I keep them at the top of the list. And the people who maybe will be a lot of work, but I'm not really sure if they're going to be a great lead, I keep them at the bottom of the list. I think, though, Michelle, we've discussed this before, is you sometimes never know, because there's usually, they can sometimes require a lot of work, and you end up finding a gold mine and you didn't know it. So keeping your list live, keeping on top of them regularly so you have a schedule. That's number 1.
What's your schedule?
I usually check in once a week with people who are my top 80%, and then I check in with everyone else, less than that. So
how do you check in with them?
So primarily by phone.
Did you guys hear that? By phone. Not texting, not emailing, not Facebooking, by the old school phone. So for those of you that are selling what I call high value, high price things, phone.
It's FaceTime. If I could get in front of the person physically, I would do that first. If it's a legitimate 80% person, I will schedule a meeting, because
how much revenue is one of those 80% clients, just so everyone can understand?
$250,000 would be the start of a person who would be my 80%.
Okay, so $250,000 sale, that's the value of the sale. You would get on a plane, right?
Oh my gosh. I would get tomorrow. When do you want to see me? 100%. Yeah. In fact, I would do it for someone who's less than that, because they build. Right. And that's the beautiful thing. If you do a great job and you deliver, you end up getting your purchase orders growing every year. So in packaging, when a person places one order, it becomes like an annuity. You place the same order every year, and if you keep adding products, then your total revenue ends up growing. So there's a ton of value in getting in front of someone's face. Okay, so we call them. So first is create a schedule.
The
second one is reach out to them. So I would say meeting, a phone call. Email is the last resort, and usually I love being very short in my email, and I love sending photos or articles or things that are not business related specifically, but that are driving them to feel a connection to me, to realize that I understand what they need.
So we talked a little bit about this last week, you guys, if you missed it. Type show in the notes and we'll send you the replay. Got it, right? But this is huge, because, really being able to connect with people on the rapport side is not talking about business. We talked about that this morning to everyone who we were chatting with this morning. It's not about their business stuff. It's articles that they might relate to because they told you they were getting divorced, and you send them a divorce link to the best person to help you deal with that. Or they told you they were going to London on a vacation, Like, oh my God, my friend just got back from London. Here's like the top 5 places you should visit. You know.
Right. I completely agree with you, Michelle, because I think relationships, people buy people, especially on big ticket things. If it's a small ticket thing, they're going to buy a website, they're going to buy social proof. So even on an e-commerce platform, they're buying people, they're buying relationships. And in a more expensive high ticket item, people want to connect to people because products can fail, only people can fix it. So they really have to believe in you and that you care about them as a person. So
people buy from people. So I have a question. For all the entrepreneurs that might have something between $500 and $1,000 product, and they're just selling like online in a webinar, or, you know, they're not like doing $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 deals, and they're not able to see all their people. What do you think a good way to build rapport relationship would be for them?
I love this question. Part of the things that my company does also is we do e-commerce platforms like Shopify and Amazon.
Yeah.
So we help certain clients to actually grow their sales online. So we have a lot of experience in that. The number one thing I think is social proof. Because again, people want to hear from other people that a product is great. The number one way that you can grow your sales is by having proof that other people bought and enjoyed your product. And so I think that has to do with testimonials, collecting reviews, using social media influencers like Michelle and other people who try your product and actually leave a review on YouTube, on Facebook. And there are ways that if you don't yet have your product out, that you can give it away for free to get feedback. I think it's very powerful. What do you think, Michelle?
I 100% agree. And for those of you that are selling something that you're not getting on the phone or in front of people to sell, that social proof I think is huge. I once went to Ezra Firestone's e-commerce marketers. So Amy, you can tag Ezra in this one because we'll quote him. But he, for his Boom e-commerce site, it's like female makeup stuff or products. He got people to take pictures of themselves and videos and send it to them for their website. So not only was it social proof, but it was video testimonials. So if you've got a program, a product, it's changing a business, it's, you know, how to get married and stay married, or, I mean, whatever it is you're selling, it doesn't matter. But getting those video testimonials, and especially if the client or customer emails it to you, that's like gold, right?
It's huge.
So written testimonials are good, but I think those video ones, and I'll always remember that, Ezra, promise, okay? Ezra Firestone, for everyone who's watching, I think he's great in the e-commerce world and helps and teaches all this great stuff. So let me go to our next slide, just so you guys can see it. And this kind of goes for the tips for the best outreach, and we sort of already covered some of them, but you know, you really need to be prepared, and you need to do your research on the people you want to meet, or the people you want to pitch your products to, or your potential big opportunity clients, like her top 80% that she's going after. And you need to find something both that you're passionate about building rapport from them, and that resonates with you. You can't fake this part, okay? And then you want to blend the information that you find from them. So let's say you see something on their LinkedIn profile, and then you go to their Facebook profile, and there's something unique about each. You'd want to take both and blend it. Have you ever done that? Like where you went and researched?
Yes. I was trying to get in front of a client that wouldn't give me the time of day. They are one of the largest purveyors of chocolates, chocolate truffles. They sell to...
Did you get a sample?
Oh,
dang
it. Oh, I should have. It was so good. Dark chocolate. It's phenomenal. And they sell to companies like Williams-Sonoma, Dean DeLuca, a lot of other retailers. And so I was trying to get in front of them, and they were actually one of the first people I met at that trade show my first trade show. I met them. They're wonderful. Couldn't get them to give me an order. I ended up looking up the different clients that they worked with. And I got in front of Williams-Sonoma. And I asked Williams-Sonoma to give me a referral to this chocolate company.
That is genius.
And they did. And so as a result, I'm getting 2 orders this year, my first time ever getting orders from them. And they're actually really excited to be working with me. And they say things like, I had no idea you did packaging that was this beautiful. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't know that you did this. Yes, they did. They weren't listening. I had to find a way to get them to listen to me. And that was through thinking of their sales first.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, so if you take that same approach, and let's say you're in the online space, right? So a lot of entrepreneurs are like, you know, dealing with physical products, and then there's the people dealing with like coaching virtual products. What do you think would be a good way for them to use that same scenario? Let's say they're selling dating coaching service. I probably should sign up.
Be a tester and give them a testimonial. I think it's a great idea, Michelle.
I'm just kidding. But like, what would help all the entrepreneurs out there that are selling like digital stuff?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think with digital and trying to launch something like that, I think getting influencers is the number one way because again, it's relationships. And so, yeah, if you can get an endorsement from someone who believes in your product and who has tested it out, I think that is the most powerful thing that you can do. And one of my clients sells hand-woven baskets all across Africa. And I love their mission. It's really an incredible mission. They actually help women in Africa in war-torn countries like Rwanda to be able to have meaningful work. They do traditional weaving, and they create these baskets, and they're amazing, amazing, beautiful products. For a while, they were focusing on selling their product, the mission of the product.
Right.
And the thing is, they weren't having a good ROI. They did tests on e-newsletters, on social media, and people don't drive. They care, but that's not what's going to cause them to buy.
No.
So we changed our approach, and we started focusing on selling the product and how it's going to look beautiful in your home, how gorgeous, how exquisite, how fine the product was. People started buying. And as soon as they started buying, then we could tell them about the mission, and they felt even better, and it created a loyalty. So we focused, though, on capturing local Instagrammers to take photos with the product. We've had different interior designers take photos with the product so that they're posting on their page, and then they're posting it on ours. And then also real estate agents, because
they're staging houses.
They're staging houses.
That's such a great idea.
So that really worked well. And besides that, it created content for us to post on our Instagram and on our website that showed diversity of product placement, diversity of style, and it also created natural breadth. And it was, again, capitalizing on relationships, networks of relationships. So if I were to go out and launch a brand new dating website, the number one thing that I would do is I would find people of influence who could talk about my product and share it with their connections. Yeah.
So for those of you that have digital products, find influencers. And what would you do when you reached out to the influencers?
We've done a number of different tactics, and I think the number one worst way that will not work is to write a template email and to send it out in mass to a number of people and then never follow up. The only way that it works is to write yourself a template email, and then you need to customize it, I think, for every single person. You're asking someone else to put their reputation on the line for you. You better damn well give them something valuable, which is a custom email that addresses why this would benefit them personally. Be brief, to the point, be grateful, and then follow up, because half the time our inboxes are so full, we're busy, and if you can't tell me in the first sentence how this will benefit me as an influencer, I'm not going to read it. So give that person additional time, reach out to them, and I think even sending them photos. What I did with one client, I took a photo with All Across Africa's baskets, and I took another photo of their Instagram page, and I showed how the colors of their yoga outfit and the baskets were in line. So there's like 3 different photos that really showed how the product was in line with their values and their mission and their look, and they responded because it was really super custom.
Yeah, you have to get custom, you guys. If you want responses from influencers, you need to think outside the box. And, maybe we'll talk about that on another episode. But here are some ideas to get your brain stirring. Stirring. You like that?
I just got it. It took me like 2 seconds.
When you stir up your coffee in the morning and put in your milk or stevia or whatever. But basically, all of these ideas are ways for you to start building relationships and building rapport, because it is a muscle that you need to start working on. It's like going to the gym. It doesn't happen organically for everybody, and I totally get that. So you can go to live events, you can go to meetups, you can go to local events. You can hang out in Facebook groups. For a lot of you people online, I know you're already doing that. But you want to engage authentically with the people online. So comment on Instagram, interact on their posts, and provide value. I always say, like, you have to give 10 times before you can get something in return. So if you're out there building rapport and relationships, kind of like we talked about last week, if this is like a teeter-totter, it might be like this for quite a while, where you're just giving the whole time and you're not getting anything in return. You know what I'm saying?
It's so true. Yes.
And generating conversations and engagement. So, you know, for those of you going for the high-ticket stuff, you'll do most of this probably on the phone or flying around meeting and stalking people in person like I've done a couple of times, but I'll share that next time. What was that? We have music. Maybe you guys didn't hear it, but I heard some music. What were you going to say about this?
Just that, because you were talking about, how much time sometimes it can take to close a very large client. And my current largest client, who's doing nearly $500,000 in sales with me this year, when I first met them, he hated me. The two main sales reps, at least that's how it came across. They came across completely disgusted. They have this, there was just this kind of insulting, sassy commentary that was going back and forth, and they thought, I don't need you, and any kind of positivity or idea I came up with they thought was insulting. And so for me, who's kind of a golden retriever, I love being positive and nice, I was just like, oh my gosh, this person actually hates me. And you know what, though? I wrote it down in my notebook. I've got to come back, and I've got to spend more time with them again. And my dad was like he was in the $1 billion sales club when he was in his career and profession. He was so successful at sales. And what he would always tell me when I was a child is, they may not like you now, but they will tomorrow. There's something about the law of familiarity. The more times that you show up in their inbox or in front of their face, eventually they'll forget even where they met you, but they'll start to feel like they know you. And that feeling will open them up. And so I kept coming back. I kept sending them emails. I pursued them like crazy. I put down a lot of money developing products for them before they ever paid me. And as a result, they are my largest client to date, and they're doing nearly $500,000 sales with me. So I just want to say that to encourage you, because when someone can actually put you down to your face, it actually doesn't mean anything. Just keep being kind, keep showing up.
Keep showing up. You got to keep showing
delivering
up.
value, and I promise you, they may not like you now, but they will tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. My really good friend Monique Marvez, Monique, if you're watching, I don't know, maybe Amy could tag you so you can start watching it. But she always tells me how annoying I am. And I know I can be super annoying. Like, I totally get it. But I have something in my eye. I do it for, like, a reason or only for the good stuff. Like, you know, how we met. Persistence, resilience, whatever you want to call it. I started this nonprofit with my co-founder Mishi, the Live Well Project, and it's a health and fitness day for at-risk teens. And, you know, Emily's been so awesome and inspiring all these young teen girls for so many years. But we would have never got the donations and the sponsorship if I wasn't, like, kind of annoying. And, you know, when people are busy and you're in a world of noise, speaking of noise, if you type show in the notes, I've got this whole ebook I wrote about how to build good relationships and rapport in a world of noise. I think that's the title of it, right? I think so, yeah. So I just remembered noise. But here's the thing, like, if you don't keep showing up and you don't keep reminding people about you or what you've got and your products and your service, then they're going to go find someone else when they need you.
Michelle, watching you raise money for your philanthropy to help young girls who are at risk, I don't think I've ever seen anyone who's more powerful at it, because I remember showing up and seeing the donations and the amount of huge corporations that are supporting a small organization in San Diego. Michelle is fierce, but she's also friendly, and she's always leading with the value that it's going to bring to that organization. And your follow-up, the other thing that you would always do is you take photos of the product with the girls and do a really great job of following up after the purchase order or after the donation. And I think that's incredible, because it's not done once they give you their money. If the purchase order, it's not done when they give you the donation. It's the follow-up, because you want them to have a residual feeling of gratitude towards what they just gave and value.
100%. And, you know, it's kind of like what you do through that year and a half until someone becomes a client or a customer. You always have to be providing something that will benefit them, right? It's not about the business. So for these people, like Justin at Justin's Peanut Butter, are you there? Are you listening? You probably don't need to be listening. I understand. You've raised multi-millions of dollars from those delicious dark chocolate peanut butter cups that I...
crazy good.
Okay, but you've donated every single year, okay? And Amy will tag you so you can see this. But here's the thing. If I didn't send you pictures after the event every year, then maybe when I ask you for more chocolate goodness the next year, you might forget about me and tell me no. So it's also like a reminder. And you get to see all these like awesome teen girls eating up your products. And, you know, we appreciate your donation, by the way. So we totally got off track, I think. But that's okay. So
well,
hopefully
you were talking
those...
about persistence, and you're talking about how important that is. And that's one of the things that you do. I've taken notes from you, Michelle, on how you do that, because I'd like to get even better. You do an amazing job at the follow-up.
Well, so for all of you guys watching, remember we're here every single Monday. I know you get to hang out with me every Monday. But I want to take everything I've learned over the last 20 years and help you all. So one of it is I have a follow-up system called Being Professionally Annoying. And it's like 10 steps. It's like, what's AA? Like the people that go to Alcohol Anonymous school? How many steps is that?
Yeah, I think it's 12 steps.
12. Okay, I'll make mine 12. It's the 12 steps to being professionally annoying, to getting all the deals you've ever wanted. It might not be in the time frame that you want, but trust me, it works. And it works like clockwork. But again, I believe very strongly, and I know Emily does too, that when you love what you're selling or you love your product or you love what you're doing, I don't think I'm annoying. I just think I'm the best and you guys should work with me. So when you come from that place, others, like Monique, think I'm super annoying, but I don't. You know, otherwise...
It works. It works. And when someone meets you and actually works with you, they know how wonderful you are and that they made the right decision. So.
Yeah. And so for all the dietitians out there that I work with, I love you guys. I still sell some catering. And, you know, Fitzy Foods might have not worked out as I hoped, but I work with my partner, Scott. And we're always selling to all the dietitians to help you guys have less stress, work with the players more. We sell in baseball, okay? So let me just get clear. I sell food to dietitians at Major League Baseball teams. A lot of them have known me for like 8, 9, and 10 years. However, until they needed me, then I don't really get the call. But I've always built that relationship. I've always picked up the phone. I've always emailed you guys. And Ryan, if you're watching, she sent me the nicest email. I sent out the email blast. I don't know if you guys are on my email list, but you can go to thepitchqueen.com to sign up. And I've got like the 10 best things you should know before starting a business. Trust me. I could have saved like millions of dollars, but I probably avoided 5 lawsuits. Yeah, you heard me right. But Ryan sent me this email yesterday that was so nice. And Ryan, thank you so much. But, you know, she's just like, people need to know this part. She's like, people need to pick up the phone more. People need to call. Like, make it more personal. And she even realized that because I'm sure she calls. She's like, oh, well, I'm with the Tampa Bay Rays, and people don't treat her right. You know, it's almost better to say, hi, I'm Ryan, and I need your help in food and services. Because otherwise it's like, oh, well, you're with the Tampa Bay Rays. Let me charge you double. I don't need to pay attention to you because you're going to be a client anyway. So, Ryan, thank you for that. I will always call you. I will always take care of you because you guys are awesome. Anyway, let's go back to the slides real quick. Okay. Ask people who they know. It's okay to ask for introductions. We kind of touched on that. And again, this is about building rapport and relationships for any of you guys that have forgotten what we're talking about today. Everyday life. So airplanes, car washes, Starbucks lines, gas stations, any other places, comment below. I would love to know where you guys build rapport and build relationships because I can add them to my list of places to think about. And then I always have this tip, and I don't know if you do the same, but you get the other person to laugh. Like if you can make them laugh, then they're in a different realm. Like if they're not like this, like with their arms crossed.
You're so right. I had a running joke when I was teaching my sales team. We got a sales training, and I kept telling them you should text your buyer cat memes. And
Cat?
they're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm kidding. Don't send them cat memes. Most people don't. Not everyone loves cats. But if you can find something that makes them laugh, a topic that they, particularly when they're in their free time, if you can get them to laugh and you can do it on a social platform like Facebook, Instagram, and text, it's great for just a short little joke, cute little comment, a little emoji. Those things actually, once you've crossed the barrier of actually knowing the person, can actually work. So, yeah, I love that.
I love getting them to laugh. I think that's huge. And, like last week for all of you guys that watched, I challenge you to start building relationships and rapport with people on the airplane sitting to your left and right. You know that place where you sit and you don't want to even look to the right? I've met investors. I've met investment bankers. I've met private equity guys. I've met so many cool people on airplanes. It's crazy. And what about a car wash? You go there.
At a car wash. I currently sell, one of my other companies is a tea product. I work with the Jocko podcast, and we do, I manufacture and created a special recipe just for him of tea. And I need to find distribution, and I met a guy who has broken open distribution for Monster Energy drink in San Diego. So now I have his phone number on my cell phone, and as soon as we start going larger scale, I'm going to talk to him about helping us get distribution at a car wash. Good idea, Michelle.
Car wash. Okay, how about Starbucks? For those of you that personally know me, I have a routine, and I go every day, and I get 2 shots of espresso because that's the only, I don't want to make it at home. It's too much work and makes a mess. It's like, But I go there every day, and some of my baristas have been there for like 10 years. Did we talk about this earlier? Maybe I talked about it this morning, but calling people by their first name.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, like I'll say, there's Emily there. Hey Emily, how's it going? Like every time I go now, I order on my phone so I don't have to wait in line. So that wouldn't apply to this, but you can wait in line with the people waiting for their drinks. So there's 2 lines at Starbucks. So you can wait and talk to people in line, because I don't know when you're at Starbucks, but they're all like this. They're like texting and emailing. No one wants to talk to each other anymore. So you can talk to people there, and then if you're like me and you order your drink on the phone, you can talk to people at the mobile order line for your mobile order and talk to them. And you can talk to your baristas, because if they've been working at Starbucks 10 years, they probably have interesting stories, and Starbucks takes care of their employees, so. Or at the gas station. So I get my gas at Costco because it's right down the street from here at the office. And there's a lady, and she has to pump it because I guess on BMWs and Mercedes, the thing doesn't latch on. And I always ask her how her day is. So, these people want to talk to us, and it's building rapport and relationships, and you never know who they know.
It's true.
Have you ever met anybody at one of these random places that introduced you to somebody that you got a new client from?
I could say I've met, I don't know if I should say all my client names all the time, but yes, I've had that happen where I've talked to someone and I met the president of a very exclusive water bottle company, and I've been wanting to meet them for such a long time, and that all happened because I was really friendly with the person just walking along the street. We happened to be walking side by side together.
On the street! On the street. For those of you watching, thumbs up, hearts, that was a good one. So on the street, Starbucks, in line, at restaurants, and we'll close the day with this, because I think this is very important. And I'm sure Emily will talk a little bit about it, but your network creates your net worth. And your network starts from the people you know, the people in your phone, your contacts, which are all built from rapport, which then led to deep relationships. Right?
Oh, yeah. There's an undeniable law of the universe that how you bring value to the world is how much value is going to come back to you. And I think you can trick people once or twice for a short period of time, but eventually it's the sincerity in your own heart and the sincere value that you're actually bringing to people that will create sales, profitability, and wealth and abundance in your company, and even amongst the employees that you're hiring. So I think that relationships is what drives everything in the universe, and including the actual dollars that are inside of your bank. So yeah, network creates your net worth. I agree with that.
And you are the 5 people you hang around. So if you want to be really, really successful, start hanging around whatever you consider really, really successful people. Because it's no different than your success in your own life and how it relates to the people that you surround yourself with. Right?
Yeah, I think you can be so influenced. Unless you're giving philanthropically to people.
Right.
Which
that,
there's a ton of.
That too. But, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to rapport, when it comes to building your network of people, step up your game. Start talking to the people next to you on the airplane. Start talking to the people next to you in line at the car wash. Start talking next to the people on the corner of the street when you're walking down the streets. Well, we're in San Diego, so wherever you guys are, in Japan, China, Canada, a lot of, wherever you are, just start talking to more people, because as an entrepreneur, you've heard me say it a few times, but a few is going to turn into 1 million. As an entrepreneur, you are a full-time salesperson. There's no stopping. It's kind of like being a mom, right? My best friend, she has 2 kids. There's no pause button.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe we pause when we're sleeping, but we're not really pausing, because we're refueling our bodies of rest to perform the next day. Right?
Yeah.
But you always have to be on it, and you always have to be thinking about who can you meet, how can you provide them value, and then maybe when will your products be of service to them. So that was a lot today. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit our 30-minute goal. We are now at 41 minutes and 40 seconds, and I've got a few things to wrap up. But first of all, I want to say so much thank yous, right? Thank you to Emily. Who loved Emily today? Clap. Woohoo! Give hearts, thumbs up. Thank you so much for sharing all your stories. I even learned something new. I love the 80-20 rule, and I kind of forgot about that till now when it comes to how you're going to prospect your clients and which order to put them in, and how often to follow up with them.
Right.
That's huge.
It is.
Yeah, I love that. So if you liked what you heard today, or if you're going to watch this later, feel free to share it. Feel free to type in show in the notes, and we'll send you a really, really, really cool thing on how to create and build relationships in a world full of noise. And did I miss anything else, Amy?
Nope.
I think we are good. We will see you next Monday at 1 p.m.-ish. We really tried hard to start at 1 p.m. today, but we had technical difficulties, so we started at 1:08 or 1:10. And again, thank you, Emily, for joining us. This was so fun. It's kind of fun with a guest, huh? We'll have to do this like once a month.
I love it.
But you all have an awesome day. We have completed 2 episodes now of Coffee is for Closers, and can't wait to see you all next week. Oh, do we have any questions? No questions today. If you come with your questions, I will answer all of your questions. So make sure to come with questions next time. Have a great day. Bye, guys.